All right, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Kenny Black, aka Mr. Funny Money, and I'm in here with two of my favorite guys. Who are you?
Your favorite pops, Coldine.
DJ Nightmare, you know what it is.
Yes, and this is Yo Shit Talking Daddies podcast because we're daddies and we be talking shit.
So we
Hella shit. Hella shit.
Because why not?
we got some shit to talk about today.
Oh yeah, so much that happened, yo.
Yo, it's wild. It's a wild time. Let's do a quick check-in. How y'all doing?
Shit, chilling.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's the holiday weekend. Even though it don't feel like it. Does it feel like a holiday weekend to y'all?
It don't because
It
I
don't.
mean this might be another topic for another time. I think it's because we are the new adults and we be adulting different than
Yeah.
that adulted when we were kids. So it don't it feels weird.
It's
Like
something about the summertime. You don't know what time it really be. You don't know
yo,
what
for
day it
real.
be.
That's a fact. They be
Like I
like 8
almost
o'clock.
forgot
You
about.
like what? It's not new.
Oh,
Yeah, man. All right. What is our I'm cool into just hot. Just hot. I'm going on my bachelor party next weekend.
oh word,
Yeah, that's why I'm
I
still
ain't get no invite.
right?
listen, man. It was so many that it's now dwindled so far down. It's a lot. It's a lot happening. I'm sorry, guys.
I know how that shit go.
Yeah. What's our first topic for tonight, Cole?
Um, the village raising your family. Is it better for your family to be your children to be raised in the village, or to just it be the immediate family?
I'm a firm believer in the village.
Me
I'm a firm
too.
believer in the
Same
village.
here. Same
With the
here.
world we live in today, you can't trust the whole village no more.
100%. I mean, we couldn't trust the whole village
You,
back then either.
you know, no, honestly, I would say like where I grew up in, we could you could trust the village. Like people would actually look out for each other, even though it was in the hood. But our specific neighborhood, we actually looked out for each other. And we
Yeah,
also
like
like,
everybody on your block knew each other type shit.
yeah, Miss
Yeah.
Johnson over there, make sure she'll tell on you if you do something wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
That's a
So
fact. That's a fact. Like the village was more than just family at that point in time. It was like the neighbors,
Your
yeah,
immediate neighbors and shit.
right, the store
exactly.
owner, the mailman, like everybody was like, yeah, it was a little more collective in that. I'm a
The
firm believer in that.
milkman.
For me, my mother passed away shortly after I was born. So that's extended family there that just pitched in, and then like my stepmother's family, like really just took me in as family. So I have a whole third side of family. So I had a really big village as a part of my growth. So I believe in reciprocating that. I also feel like you need different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like with the village, you get different experiences in a more trusting environment than necessarily like what may happen at the park or at school. Like you get to like, okay, my house was raised like this, and I live in a house, but then I go to my aunt's house and it's an apartment. You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
just you learn to like, okay, I still love my aunts and my cousins, even though they don't live the way I live. So you get kind of that, I don't want to say humble, but you're not, you know what I mean? You don't
You
think my
see
world
things
is
from a different perspective.
right.
Yeah.
Right. You get a little more respect for things like that.
Yeah, I feel like, but nowadays it seems like
Hmm.
it's hard to find a village that's
Hmm.
suitable to actually, be around your child and everything. That's why, like for me now, it's like I always have to stick to immediate family because where I live is no village that's being created. But one thing that's good about where I live now is like we cool with our neighbors, like our next door neighbors, and that's pretty much like I guess a small village in itself. But as far as the whole neighborhood, like the whole block, yeah, I wouldn't
Oh
say
yeah.
that. Yeah.
When when I moved to New York in like 96, 97, the block I lived on was a little village, and the people who lived next door had no problem coming knocking on my door, talking to my mom, talking to my grandma. My grandma going to be 70 years old at the time. She knew the little 8-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids, everybody around my age
Hmm.
on the block and shit. Everybody knew who I was. I didn't even know these adults and shit, but they knew exactly who I was and where to go if I was doing some shit I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And then it came a time where people was like, that village shit is cool, but I want my privacy. So they started being private and stopped trusting other people. And then when that trust fell, the villages fell.
Yo,
Damn.
speaking of that, it's a fact. The more you get older and you learn about adults, the adults at the time and what they were like going through, it's like for us, we were kids, and it all seemed like everybody had kids around the same time. So we were cool with the neighborhood, the cousins, and everything. But then you find out the adults had beef, low key.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
like they were cool, or they was like, your aunts and like because they're brother and sister. So they have like sibling issues that you didn't really see because you were just playing with the kids, and you start to realize, how come I don't see Auntie so and so as much anymore, or Uncle
Yeah.
so and so as much anymore?
Mhm.
And then you realize it was like there's like jealousies and issues and things like that, or they didn't like whoever's significant other, and they didn't like that they didn't. And then you're like, wow, like all of this was happening
Yeah.
while I was playing Legos.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So yeah, so for us now, it's like, well, we didn't. I feel like me and my cousin and my siblings, we were so close and didn't go up that way. So it's weird when we see the
Mhm.
adults operating like that. And for us now, we're not like beefing, but we're all living just lives. Like we don't
Mm-hmm.
all live in the same area
Yeah.
anymore. So
That's
that's
what that
also,
beef created because
yeah.
they beefed and then they was like, okay, we could have Thanksgiving without everybody. We could just have our own little personal thing. And we grew up having that. So we was like, yeah, it's fine when I get my family. I don't need to go to nobody's house. I could just have my
Yeah,
own
that's a
little turkey at
fact.
the crib.
So I remember we used to like as a big family, we all come together for Thanksgiving. You know, everybody's there. But
Do they
it felt
celebrate
like it
Thanksgiving?
felt like. But what crazy? It felt like after my grandmother passed away, it's like nobody did it anymore. Everybody went their own separate ways.
I have a joke in my comedy special. These ain't dad jokes on YouTube, but I have a joke about it, how there ain't no more grandmas.
Ah,
Like,
grandma, because grandma is 40 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
yeah, but even and the funny thing is, I realized for some of us, grandmas was that age for us too. Just 40 when you're 8 or 5 is old, and then you get. But like they just like our parents don't even want to be called grandma. Like they want to be called Mimi and other name, Glam, like all these other
Mm.
names because they don't
Yeah,
want
my
to say
mother says
old.
grandma for some reason. I'm like, what? What?
But it's and I kind of understand it because when you say grandma, you think like Golden Girls, like the old, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're like a 50-year-old woman now is not the same as a 50-year-old woman when we was growing up.
that's
You
a
know what I mean?
fact.
50 still look good now. So they're
Mm-hmm.
just like, yeah, I'm not that. So they still trying to be outside. They not in the house like how
Mm-hmm.
grandma would be like, I'm here, send all the kids over and I'll just watch
Mm-hmm.
the kids.
I
Like,
mean, make some milk and
Nah,
cookies. Nah,
I
grandma
feel
out
like
here.
I feel like there's a depreciation of grandmas, but my wife's mom is still like very grandma-y. She gives
mhm.
off a very grandma-y presence and like sternness, and you like, I'm not gonna mess with grandma.
That's
Mm.
what's
I'm
up.
not messing around with grandma.
Is she like older? Like, how some of us had like older
Nah,
parents.
she's young. She's a young grandma,
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
wow. Okay.
What's up?
but she still give off that "don't fuck with me" vibe.
You
Like we
need
gonna have
Yeah,
fun,
you
and
have
I'm
to.
gonna love you, and I'm gonna be nice to you, and
that.
we gonna do a lot of shit. But
There's a
don't fuck
limit.
with me.
There's a limit you
Need
can
that.
test.
You need that because sometimes the spoiling don't help. Like that's the
No.
other thing sometimes with the village, like even with grandparents, that like sometimes you notice that like your parents are just different with your kid than how they were with you. And then you're like, no, like I still needed that. Not that you want them to be as strict, but there's still a level of like, don't spoil, don't make my job harder. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? If I'm like, yeah, no candy at a certain time or no whatever, don't go and do it. And now I gotta be bad guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the funny part.
Hmm.
So do you and y'all feel like y'all have a village?
I
Um.
I feel like I have
Wait.
a
When
village type thing.
when you say village, are you? What do you mean by village? Like, what would your definition of village is? Is it like village as in like your extended family helping out, or village as in like the neighborhood?
Right now, I would say your extended family, but it would have to be like a gaggle of them. Like it can't be like two people. That's not a village.
Yeah.
Like it'd
Okay.
be you, your kids, your spouse, your grandparent, the grandparents of the kids, and then maybe a few other people. Do you
Yeah, I
feel
guess
like
I guess
you
somewhat
have
village.
multiple people you can call and rely on that aren't in your family?
Yeah, like I feel like village can almost count anybody outside of obviously the spouse in the house, and maybe even like I feel like grandparents are part of the village, but I understand if you don't count it like that. But I
Yeah,
feel
they're
like
the chief of the village.
right, like you kind of need that because there's some people that one grandparents just may not be alive, or
Mm-hmm.
they're just not like we had like they may not be strong enough. Like I still have some of my grandparents still alive, but some of them not like my father's mom is old enough that she can still watch my daughter. But my fiance's grandmother is just a little too weak to handle my daughter. You know what I mean? So we couldn't leave her alone with her because she has a lot of energy moving around. But my parents, they still I have access to them. I have cousins that are like my age that can watch or like 10 years older that I'm like, okay, you have kids, so I can leave you there, or my sister that have kids. Like, so I feel like I have family. And even like, I'm West Indian and stuff. So we have like play aunties, like, the aunties and uncles that ain't really blood, but you're raised by them. So you also have that.
It's funny because I asked that question because in my head I always felt like a village was like your neighborhood. Like, of course, you had your
It
immediate family,
was.
but I always felt it was like the neighborhood you grew up in, and everybody was, knew each other, hung out, and everybody knew each other's parents. And I always felt like is I don't know. To me, does it seem to y'all that there's a lack of like block parties anymore?
Oh, definitely.
Because
Yeah.
I felt like that the block parties really like brought people together and like actually helped people understand their neighborhood and knew the people that was in the surrounding area. Because now it's like I barely see any block parties anymore.
I think that happened because of the violence. Like, if we remember completely, block parties didn't always end well.
True.
Yeah, I mean, there was a certain time of night where it was like, all right, we got to go inside.
You said, hold up, those aren't fireworks.
And that's
Yeah.
what helped build the village. The village, that's another thing that helped. The niggas ain't trying to be out here dying, ain't trying to be out here surviving gunshots just because they trying to feed the neighborhood.
And then it's the people to organize that. Like a lot of the either the people that was doing it got too old, and then the next generation that was supposed to carry it on
didn't take
on
over.
Other things got locked up, and that's what makes it weird for us because now we are the adults. That's like, okay, we're throwing the barbecues. We are the ones supposed to be throwing the block parties and all of that, and you realize this shit not work.
It is. I'm
I
like,
don't know if I want to do all of this.
I don't know no community organizers. Like, what's going on?
They wasn't paying rent like we was paying rent, man.
That's a fact too.
They pushed us all to go to college. Now we in college debt, and so it's like, nah, I ain't trying to do all that. I gotta get this bread.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers talking about $10,000 for a block party. I'm like, I owe $100,000 to the University of Bridgeport.
Yep. So yeah. And I guess so.
Into our next topic, laws changed. So that also affects things. I guess probably not as easy to do. Speaking of laws, there was a big change recently in a law from the Supreme Court. But we're all dads, so we're all dads, we're all men. So this thing, I don't want to say it don't affect us, but it don't affect us as hard as it affects the women. But it's still important that we chime in on this from
I got a question off the top.
Good.
If this law had been reversed when we were all 16 years old, how many kids would you have today?
Before we answer that, let's just be clear on what the law is. Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court officially on a national standpoint. So that's not clear. The states can still decide what they want to do. So we live in New York State. Abortions can still happen. But like Texas and Oklahoma and all those like other states, Midwest and stuff,
Southern Republican states, basically.
Yeah, basically red states. They're just like, nah, we getting rid of that. So for me, I have never had an abortion situation. I've had I'm late scares. I've had to buy a plan B. Like, let's be on the safer side.
A plan. I had to buy multiple plan Bs.
You can't even buy plan Bs no more. Plan B is
yeah.
That's the thing about it. Like people, it's like there's one thing for the abortion to be criminalized, but now they're starting to criminalize everything around it. Like birth control now is like
condoms are illegal.
Yo, and I don't understand it.
Wait, not condom. They doing that for
Nah,
condoms
that was
too?
a joke.
Nah, but
Yo, you
essentially,
scared me for you scared me. Don't do
But
that.
that's what's next. That's what it feels like. They like you can't get an abortion. You can't use contraception. You can't use
but
protection.
Right?
the funny thing is, which is it's funny that you even said the condom thing. They're only doing it things that affect the women. And
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
men put the condoms on, that won't happen. But if condoms were a woman thing, I feel like they would have made it illegal too.
Yeah, they probably would have. Because they are female condoms, but nobody be using that shit.
You ever seen one of those?
Yeah, I've had a girl use it one time. It was like it was not it. Because I wanted to see what it was like. I'm like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah, it's like saran wrap.
It looked like a plastic garbage bag. You just whoosh, you just
Yo.
gotta pull it. And you see the little thing dangling out there. I'm like, oh nah, it don't even look good. Nah.
It's not a good look.
I don't get it because like I don't get it why they felt like, and the conspiracy that they have is it's to preserve the white race.
Nah, it ain't no conspiracy. Let me put on my tinfoil. It ain't no conspiracy.
I'm saying that because we on the platform and we don't have no officials, so it's like saying allegedly. So you say conspiracy, you know what I mean? But even with that, I'm like, so if y'all felt that way, why does everyone else have to suffer from it? Because if you make it so that the Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, brown, all these people can't get abortions, you're gonna have more and more of those people than white folks.
They did it that way. They did it that way so it don't arouse suspicion that it is because they're trying to, save their race, so to speak. Because let me put y'all on game because basically we been having kids, Black, Hispanic, we've been having kids, like even with the abortion, but we still been having kids.
A lot of people don't believe in too.
But the crazy part was it was like a lot of white women were going for abortions, and I was like, basically not allowing them to have enough kids for the population.
That's the part you don't realize. What you mean, sweetheart? It's in your room.
You know what's crazy is that like back in 2019, I went to Oswego for like a they has like alumni weekend, whatever. And that's like upstate, like by Syracuse. Kenny know. And I went to a seminar, and in the seminar with the president of the school, she was saying, we try to like get kids from the urban areas, the cities, New York City and all of that to come to the school because up here, not enough people are having kids for us to populate the school. And I was like, that's interesting. And then now all of this happening and all this coming out, like, oh, that it's starting to make sense because they're not having kids.
They don't want like in their little suburbs where it's only little old white people. They don't want them to die off. Yeah. And then leave the open space for a well-off Black person to come move in.
Yep.
They try and do everything they can. But this abortion bill, I feel like it's just
it's not. That's not the right way to go. It's not
at all. It's so fun. Like it's so funny. You said to mass stuff like that. Like it shows it's the white women doing more. It's the white people that are abusing the thing, and now we all gotta suffer for it because Karen want to wild out.
Like Karen don't use protection,
and they're probably more upset because those white girls are probably having more sex with non-white people, and that's where they're like, let's not into it's real.
Watch. I bet
one day everybody in America just gonna be brown. It don't matter.
Yeah, they did a South Park episode about that. Everybody brown.
They can't stop it though. No matter what they try, they can't stop it. If you stop an abortion, you just gonna make more brown babies. We just gonna be here.
Yep.
Right.
We we multiply. We like roaches when you turn the light on.
That's that baby kids. We don't die, we multiply.
I just watched that shit the other day.
How does it? This one is for Cole. I guess you guys can answer having sons too, but having a daughter, how does that make you feel with laws like this?
I'm so glad I don't got no daughter. Woo!
The way it make me feel is just being in a house with three women, well, a woman, a girl, and a baby. But it's just like they be fucking them over, bro. Like sometimes I be feeling bad, like, yo, they be fucking Black people over. And then I gotta be looking at my women and like, they be fucking y'all over. And it makes no sense. At all. Like,
it's like they get
who cares if a woman goes and gets an abortion? Honestly, who is it affecting? Like I
That's the other part.
on Facebook the other day, an abortion should be a conversation a woman has between the potential father or just a conversation she has with her own doctor, because honestly, it's her choice.
It doesn't. That's the part about it too that kills me. Like it doesn't affect anyone else except the potential father. And in that case, it's like if she wants to have an abortion, but he wants the kid, and that's when it's like, damn, like
That's when it gets
that's when it gets gray. But in that situation, it's like if she really doesn't want to, because she's the one who has to go through it for 10 months of the pregnancy, and then afterward, because it's on her to breastfeed and be on it and everything like that. So if she don't want to go through that, then there's so many other women that do. That's the other part. There are so many women out here that want to have kids and have to go through so much,
like insemination and freezing eggs and all that.
So I'm like, my guy, like find someone else. This ain't the girl.
But on the flip side, do you think that them doing this will have people, like, give people the incentive to be more careful of who they sleep with and who partners they choose?
Nope.
I think
this is Sodom and Gomorrah, bro.
So I think it will, but I also think what Cole said is also true. Like it's gonna be a lot of like the ones who have sense, the ones who are smart enough, like, you know what? Let me use my condoms more, or let me not out here wild out as much. And women are gonna be like, let me not let anybody slap and let me not. But at the same time, a lot of women are gonna be like, I'm not having sex, and a lot of men are gonna be like, yes, you are. And it's gonna be a lot more rape cases going up because men are just gonna want to take it at that point, and they're not gonna care. Because part of what abortions were a lot of rape babies.
That was my thing with the change. I was like, y'all could have changed it and made abortions illegal, but y'all could have put in like a clause for certain,
that's how you know they don't
cases,
care,
bro.
Yeah,
because
like incest and rape.
Yeah, if you raped and then you get pregnant by the rape, and then you go to jail for 15 years, and your rapist go to jail for 6 months. Where's the justice in that?
Exactly, and they want to say it's about the kid. That kid is going to be fucked up, like no matter what.
And they're gonna be in a system in a perpetual motion.
That kid is going to be a reminder of every day of what happened to that woman.
Either way, like either she's gonna hate the kid because of what it reminds her, or she's gonna love the kid, but still feel a way because of how she came to be. And then that kid is never gonna really know their dad.
Yeah, so you create another single mother begging for McDonald's for the kids. Like that's
oh, that should have been a topic. Oh man.
Maybe if we run through these top fives real quick.
All right, let's do the top five and we'll touch on that. So our top five is so the verses happened. I hope y'all saw.
Oh my, I saw bits and pieces and I was like, bro.
Oh no, I watched it. I watched the whole thing. It was a beautiful massacre.
I was like, bro.
It was so our top five is top five male R&B singers of the 2000s.
To debut after the 2000s or just be in the 2000s?
Like they was in the 2000s, like
I think it was on let's say they debuted in the 2000s and solo. So if they were in a group but went solo in the 2000s, we'll count that.
All right. Because I got a list that debuted after 2000.
Well, I mean, not the year 2000.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in the 2000s. So that's fine.
All right, who's going first?
I'll go first.
I mean, you go first. You
go first. I definitely got to put in Usher.
He came out before 2000.
Yeah, he came out way before.
I mean, he did, but
nah, he was a hit way before the 2000s.
You're right. I mean, scratch that.
How you come back from vacation and ain't do your homework, bro?
I did my homework. I just like Usher. I just like Usher.
Listen, Usher is my go-to.
So I put Chris Brown in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Chris Brown was lit. Definitely T-Pain.
You look like a T-Pain like an aspect.
T-Pain
is a rapper turned singer, so yeah, I guess.
I definitely got to put in The Dream.
Not bad.
Dream. Got to put in Bobby Valentino.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't like Bobby.
I don't like Bobby.
I think he got good music for people, but he was just never for me.
What?
I wasn't about
Because
that.
he hate light skinned niggas.
Not at all. Not at all. I really like Chris Brown.
Yo, that's crazy. I think I'll put Justin Timberlake in there too.
Mhm.
Okay.
He did his thing because after he left the group,
He got an honorable mention from me, but I ain't put him in my top 5. Black niggas.
That's a fact.
And I definitely got to put Neo.
Okay. I'll go. My top 5. Honestly, I went for like my top 5 that I like. They not all necessarily top 5, but they strong list. So top of my list off rip, Chris Brown. We already know. Like we can't even. Then I went Trey Songz. Yeah.
I don't like Trey Songz.
Trey
What,
Songz,
man? Did
Trey
you
Songz was lit
album
in
though?
2009.
Nah, that Trigger album, 2013. Go back and that whole album.
You know what it is? I just hate the way he sings. The way he sings to me is just annoying.
Because he's not singing to you. He's singing to your girl. He don't want you to like it. He wants your girl to like it.
But listen to that Trigger album because he got joints that weren't like radio hits, but that Trigger album, whole time changed my life.
I changed my life.
Yeah, nah. Because I was postcard, I was like, okay. Neo, I got Neo on there because Neo was the GOAT for his stuff, but the stuff he wrote as well.
Yeah,
he also came out before 2000, but I let that slide.
Well, he didn't debut till he was writing before 2000.
He debuted. He had a debut album before 2000. I googled Neo. I googled everybody just to make sure.
His solo.
Yeah, he had a solo album before 2000.
They might listen to that.
Anybody hear that shit?
Then I gotta put him on there because he won the verses, and I always thought this dude should have been bigger than he was. My man Mario, that man Mario, vocally, he was up there competing with Usher. Like he could, I feel like he didn't have the right people around him or whatever, but he should have been bigger.
And he had a lot of personal stuff in his life too. That's why he didn't like.
That makes sense. Yeah. And this one is, I'm sure it's gonna catch y'all left field, but I really liked him. Marcus Houston.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Is your list in order?
Yeah, he's at the bottom of the list. Like he definitely at the bottom of the list. Like, but he's on there because I just personally liked his song. Like everything he was on, I was like, okay, he hit. And then I got an honorable mention, RL from the group Next. These strings. You change your hands to come and heal me once. That man on your joint is over. It's over. That's my list.
All right. My honorable mention is whoever was Alicia Keys' backup singer.
Oh, I know him. His name is something Paul. His last name Paul. Because I went to school with his brother. And then his whole family sings. Yeah.
Whoever he was, he my honorable mention because
that man
murdered her.
Yeah.
And I love Alicia, but he murdered her.
I won't tell.
He was on The Voice too. He was on The Voice.
Word?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So my number 5, because I always put mine in the proper order. My number 5 is The Weeknd, just because I love him singing about drugs.
Yeah. I liked it better when he was singing about drugs and girls.
Yeah, when he was singing about drugs, he was lit, and now he's like on the come down or something.
Like Poppy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is Chris Brown.
Who you got above Chris Brown?
I ain't got nothing against Chris Brown. I just think there's people
above him because he ain't number one.
I think people who sing better than Chris Brown. I picked mine on how well they sing and their music.
I guess that can be debatable.
My number 3 is Tank.
Please don't go.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Tank is a GOAT vocally, like you said, but man, other than that, Maybe I Deserve and Please Don't Go, which was 3 GOATs on it. I don't know another Tank song.
When we was lit.
But that was out like 2 years ago. Like he ain't got enough. He ain't got enough.
I'm pretty sure if you ask your fiance to make a playlist for the bedroom, that's gonna be number 2 on the list.
Oh, facts.
He definitely, that's what I'm saying. He both up there. Even when in the background, he was on the background for that Aaliyah song and killed that.
So Tank has held me down a lot. So I'm gonna put him on the list.
That's why you got babies now.
Heard you.
My number 2 is John Legend.
All right.
Mm-hmm. We just ordinary people.
R&B though.
It's
He's like neo soul.
No, he did both.
He be singing.
He be
Yeah.
singing. He be
He
singing.
be singing. That's what he do.
He do be singing.
And my number one, since y'all talking about is it R&B, you might have beef with my number one, but my number one is Bruno Mars, because Bruno Mars is the most creative and talented person doing it right now.
He definitely is a goat in his own right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would
You can't
put him
keep calling everybody a goat, bro.
Huh?
There can't be that many goats on the farm, bro.
No, but I mean is like if he wouldn't be in that pen. I see what you say vocally and all that, and I think he definitely can do R&B stuff.
And Silk,
like I don't know. It's
Silk
like
Sonic is R&B.
I think because he did so much of like the pop element first.
But
it'd be like
Sonic is R&B.
It'd be like putting Michael Jackson in the R&B category. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Michael Jackson
he could do it.
Michael Jackson had a disco album.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I would, like, I wouldn't put him there just because it's like, it wouldn't be, it's almost like T-Pain in the same route. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, T-Pain is in the category
Okay,
with
so we let T-Pain rock. I let T-Pain rock and I let Neo rock, and both of those don't count on the list. So I got Bruno Mars and John Legend, and they both don't count on the list, but they sing better than all the people.
They definitely.
Oh yeah, they got the vocals. They got the vocals.
Yeah, they definitely got the vocals. No.
We got 6 minutes left if y'all trying to get into this McDonald's.
Yes. So okay, I wanted to address this because so the way I was raised, all of my siblings have different mothers, right? And I live with my dad because my mom passed, so I always went to all of their houses or whatever. And my father, if he was bringing food for my brother, my sister, whatever, he was feeding everybody. Like that's just how he was. And it wasn't an obligation. Like that's the type of man he was, where it was like, it's kids. Like if I'm gonna feed kids, my father has babysat their kids and everything. And I grew up with my other siblings as if they were like mine. They didn't feel no different. So how I am, if I'm bringing food to the kid, I'm feeding everybody. However, I feel like she wilded out for putting him on blast because it's not an obligation. Like he didn't have to do that. I understand making kids feel left out, and that's not good. But I'm not gonna blast him. You could have been like, damn, take him. Like, you know what I mean? Don't bring it.
Yeah. You could have been more like, just let him eat in the car, like the father suggested.
He said, I'll let him eat in the car, and she said, nah.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't actually want this. I didn't watch the video because I was like,
you watch the whole video, and then she threw the McDonald's on the floor, everything.
I knew she was dumb, so I was like, I'm not even watching this because she's wrong.
Yeah, she was wilding wrong all the way, yo.
When my son was born, he had an aunt, but she was only like 3 or 4 years older than him. Okay. So whenever she would do something, he would want to go do it, but he could never go with her. But every time I did something with him, his mom would try to force his aunt to go with us. And I'm like, y'all don't take him anywhere. So why I gotta take them somewhere? I'm the type of person, I'm just like that dad. If you got 4 kids and only one of them is mine, I'm bringing my kids stuff. If it's like Christmas, I'm gonna get everybody a gift, but I'm gonna get my kid 10 gifts. Everybody gonna get a $10 gift card, and my kid gonna get thousands of dollars worth of gifts.
It's funny. That's where I differ, and only because I think it's food. Like I would bring food for everybody, but I'm only bringing a Christmas gift for my kid. Because this is a gift, like this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like if you bring a gift to somebody's house or for your mom on Mother's Day, you're not about to give a gift to necessarily every mom that's there or everybody in the house. Like no, this gift was delivered for you.
But at the same time, like we can tell that the relationship between him and the baby mother is like not good, and if it's not good, that means he's not really probably going to treat all the other kids the same. In a sense,
that's a fact. That's also
because you could tell they both were being petty.
It is not your job.
It's not, but I'm saying like it will
probably be in the life.
It will probably be in her best interest to have a good relationship at least with one of the fathers who's actually showing up, because that way maybe he'll start caring about the other kids and then do for them. You know what I'm saying?
If the other kids' fathers are around, then the other kids' fathers can bring them McDonald's.
That's true.
Yeah.
If I'm bringing McDonald's to my kid, and he want to share some French fries, he can share some French fries.
But what she should have did is call up her other baby father, like, yo, bring your asses here and bring the McDonald's too. Like that's
Or like look at it like, okay, so you fed one, that's one kid I don't gotta worry about feeding. Let me go feed the other ones.
You ain't got
you
no.
heard her. She was like, she ain't got no food stamps. She's like, oh, I don't got no food stamps. They don't come to the 7th or whatever.
That's not my fault. That you
Like,
ain't got
yeah.
food stamps.
That's what
And did you see the
argument,
video of
like,
her
yo.
responding to it? She made a video responding.
Nah, what she said?
No, I didn't.
I mean, I wasn't paying attention to what she said because her hair was done, nails all did. That's where that food stamp money went to.
See? See? No, I don't want to hear that. She could have asked him. She could have been like, yo, would you mind getting some for the rest? Because I don't have it right now. I usually wouldn't, but you know what I'm saying? Because I understand that if everyone in the house is hungry and the one kid is eating, like just as a man, I'd be like, all right, let me at least get for the kids. Because you don't want to know.
But you don't know that man pockets. He probably,
that's
broke.
a fact. That's a fact. But you can get cheaper things because what ends up happening there is within the kids, it breeds resentment. Now they hating on, you know what I mean? The other siblings mad at him, and it's not their fault. The kids don't know better. The kids are gonna react how kids react. It's just like this used to happen to me all the time. I saved up money to buy my GameCube when it came out. I got the platinum one. I'm like, all right, I saved $100. Let's go to Toys R Us, Pop. Let's get it. And my sister is with me. And just because we went to Toys R Us, you know, you bring a kid into Toys R Us, they're gonna want something. So dad is like, all right, I gotta buy her something. And I'm like, that's not what we're here for. But I understand as a little kid in Toys R Us, I would feel bad if I go in here and you don't buy me nothing, and then I go back to the house and I'm playing the games and you sitting there watching me. It's gonna breed those emotions within kids.
I guess I'm too petty. I'm petty in the mug because if I bring my kid shopping, if I bring my son and my eldest daughter shopping, and I'm like, yeah, Mello, we here to get Mia something. We only gonna get Mia something. I don't care what he
said. That's how I felt. As the one
that's how I do.
But I understand.
I won't be that. I won't have the heart. I'm like, I'll give y'all both something.
Nah, I'm petty.
It's the kid. It's from the kid's standpoint because they're gonna feel away. There's a lesson in it. Like you're not always gonna get something, so don't expect. But at the same time, they you can't control the feeling of it. Like they're gonna feel that way, because it's gonna turn into something else. I see it all the time.
All right,
it's time to wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. I go by the name once again, Kenny Black, 2 C's, no K. Who are these guys?
It's your favorite pops, Codeine.
DJ Nightmare.
Yes. Where can we see you at tomorrow, DJ?
Oh, tomorrow I'll be at SOBs, right there on Berwick Street. So make sure y'all get your tickets. Follow me on Instagram at DJ Nightmare 88. I'm posting the tickets up there. It's gonna be lit.
July 3rd. Liddy.
I heard you had an interview coming up, Ken.
Oh yeah. July 3rd. Oh, actually after this.
Oh wow.
Okay. Where can we watch it?
It'll be live on YouTube, I think. No, it's on Raw Truth Radio. I'll send y'all the link.
Send us the
link. All right, send the link. We're gonna place the link in the description below.
And make sure you check out Kenny's album too.
Oh yeah, these ain't dad jokes streaming.